Well, hello, voters. This is Michael Crosby. Yes, I'm a gubernatorial candidate. Now, I have recently shared a letter with basically Surf City, in which I am laying forth the understanding that voters respective to Huntington Beach have had their civil rights violated because the units, the mobile archives that were intended to visit and bring mobile Wi Fi AI assistive voters tools to assist people with generally any problem they had in their lives and be able to bring forward an understanding of specific types of issues in brand new ways. What has happened is this fleet has come under attack and has been destroyed. So I'm asserting that these various parties, in fact, have violated the civil rights of voters respective to Surf City. I think it's a powerful issue to understand that we have parties that literally have been caught red-handed cheating in the process of elections. So basically, there's a lot of things that are of key importance here that people need to understand, And some of us want to stand up and say, hey, maybe we ought to stop the crime spree. This stuff that's going on all over the state, it's ridiculous. And I'm going to tell people, we're barely scratching the surface of what's going on because I know a lot of stuff that other people don't. Because we have a serious situation that involves the actions of these various parties literally involving themselves in some very serious RICO violations. And these parties were notified and they refused to cease and desist. So when you have these various parties, such as Julie Sue, blacklisting people, but using their name to go get money from the federal government, stranding an entire fleet, attacking my campaign, attacking the normal activities that I would be doing, things that I spent decades building, and they're attacking the rug. They are attacking the very heart, the very camp, the very heart of the camp. This is defined under the articles. This is considered acts of war. It disqualifies them from ever voting, running for office, or holding office. And this is what has transpired, people. This is what has occurred. We basically have people caught red-handed in insurrection, rebellion, and aiding and abetting an invasion at the same time. What does this mean? The word's treason, people. It's difficult to get around all these different things. The original understanding, in fact, is treason, because these people are destroying things that they have no business destroying. And myself, basically, I had a plan running previously, which is still part of the plan. But see, I was running for governor and I wanted to do a whole bunch of commemorative coins. I wanted to go hog wild on it, the largest commemorative coin sequence in the history of California. And this plan would have had purchases for silver beginning at about $18 an ounce. Now, silver hit $120 recently. It's about, I don't know, I think it was like $84 here recently. But the problem with this is that I was going to make hundreds of billions of dollars for the state of California. It wouldn't be in debt. So here I have, beyond the shadow of a doubt, a plan that I laid out in the chronological order now shows it was absolutely the right plan, that it would have worked, and it would have worked perfectly. And there's chronological facts to all of this. And there's many other sites of chronological order of items that I came up with. And I've had people tell me, they said, Mike, you're kind of a little candidate. Most people don't know about it, but you're probably being blacklisted. And these people are afraid of you. They're afraid of you because you keep proving to be correct with the correct plans. Well, I can't disagree when somebody tells me that after we've had a nice discussion. And there are some people who do know who I am. I have no idea how many votes I got in the last election or the one before that. Because first of all, I think we had 280,000 voter ballots where people wrote in the name. They wrote in the name of a candidate by hand, and they disqualified the entire ballots. They disqualified the whole 380,000. Now that's what I had somebody reporting to me and showed me information on it. I haven't been able to confirm that, but I find that factor to be very interesting, that we have handwritten votes that were thrown out. What's going on here? I mean, I don't know who you're voting for. Are you voting for your dog or what, but still, that somebody would go out of their way to write in a name on a ballot and they're just going to throw it out. What's going on here, people? So we have Julie Sue here, by the way. She blacklisted a bunch of people. See, they ended up putting money and dividing it in different funds, and they told us people that were citizens, there was no more money in the fund. I saw it early on when they did it and talked to people and says, what do you mean? So you have to wait till the next batch of money comes in. And I call up and I go, hablo no English, and I test it. And we get through this, oh, well, we can't help you. I says, yeah, but I was in line. I'm finally here. You can handle my deal. And they're like, oh, no, we can't do this. This line's only for people who don't speak English. I says, yeah, but I've been trying for weeks to get in on the other line. And they tell me that there's no money available. And now here's a line where money's available. How much money is available? Oh, well, in this area, it's $30 billion still available. That's what they told me on the phone. Can you imagine that? They are going to blacklist over 1.2 million citizens, including a candidate, as she basically refuses to do communications. They shut out all communications with me, a person who has a nonprofit business, a person who is a candidate running for office, who is in dire need, that Congress went out of the way to say, hey, we got people that are getting hurt by this COVID shutdown. We're going to have to make sure there's money available. But what ends up happening is a complete series of mass fraud, which, here's the problem. When you're committing fraud on that style of scale, it's called mass economic sabotage. And that's called treason. Always has been. And when you're interfering with the process of elections, attacking the financial rug and core of a candidate's camp, utilizing this and other items, once again, this is attack on a candidate's camp. The articles are clear. These people are disqualified. They've committed acts of war. What does this spell? Once again, word starts with a T. It's called treason. When people are using a tactical table to do mass demographic weapons, these people have to be looked at. Because in fact, what they might be doing is utilizing designs that literally came from foreign powers. This is crucially important. When in fact, my designs have a restoration of Stewart rights and Stewart groups, people who actually paid for the great land purchases. See here, this is my plan, basically. My plan. See, with my plan, your assets are going to go way, way up. Nobody has a plan like the one that I have, because it's completely legal and constitutional. It's what was promised. That's crucially important. Because my plan deals with restoring Stewart assets. Those of us who are Stewarts, those of us who have a bloodline, we would fit into one or two categories. One is worth $80 million worth of land stock, and the other one is worth $10 million. These are going to lead to many megafunds, over 1,200 megafunds that will rapidly be created. I have a list of these things. I did a lot of research for mass economic modeling. A whole lot. And these people are doing things that I'm telling you, they did a whole lot of research, frankly. And I understand the math of the logic, and there's no way that they could do research and not end up understanding that what they're picking continuously are mass demographic weapon options. These options were designed by the Royal German Empire. That's where they go back to. And then they lead forward, and there's a huge trail of blood because they're using items that are diabolically opposing the Constitution of the United States. You see, if we look here and we ask questions, when did weaponization of data truly begin? We have to understand something. We really do. We have to understand something, that there are numbers here that go all the way back to certain points in time, certain years. And this is when we end up realizing something. So here we go. So here we basically have something. Communism, socialism, ideals, weaponization. See, something happened when we look at all these people that are dying and getting killed in these wars. It goes all the way back here to this situation that we go back to about 1846. It actually occurred some years earlier than that. But there's this crucial period from about 1846 or so to basically 1880, where all of a sudden something is really happening. So this is a big, huge point where we have the point in question of when things basically change and all of a sudden go way up. It deals with this. The Germany funds Lenin Revolution. This is not funny, people. This is the truth. This is the truth. The Germans funded Lenin. It's all a huge master puppeting thing because the Royal German Empire actually created communism and socialism. The modern versions of what we see, the ones that lead to these big, huge problems where we end up having these historic catastrophes of hundreds of millions of people dead. This is where it begins. We fought 2 great wars with these people. So this is when the weaponization of data starts and mass propaganda engineering. So this is something that has infiltrated all the scholastics and universities and medical organizations, all the pharmaceutical companies. So when we have people that think they're going to school learning something about how you run government, it's all bullshit. What these people are trying to apply is illegal. It diabolically opposes colonial constitutional capitalism, the Constitution of the United States, to promote the market price and fairness. There's a whole bunch. Unlimited access to the treasury, to lands. See, there's different groups of people. There are people that their lineage goes all the way back to prior to the Constitution, and we know about the other deals that were validated. We had papers, we had contracts, we stood, we talked. The decisions were made, notes were made that we had to be validated in our contracts as the Constitution would be written. We're on Constitution number 5. We had to be included. There's a whole bunch of people who don't know what this pre-constitutional contract stuff is about those of us who are actually stewards. And when we get to the great land purchases, what's important to understand is anybody who paid taxes in that point in time is a vested citizen financially. Why? Because the government didn't have any money. We are the stock holders. We are the investors that bought all the land. Now we have another group that cuts off basically about the end of World War II because we got a whole bunch of land from Britain. That's group 2 of the main groups. So we have pre, post, 1, 2. So this is what people are missing about a lot of this stuff. And we have these people coming in as communist and socialist that want to apply policies that are unconstitutional. They are illegal concepts, completely illegal. And they are using these items as what? Mass demographic warfare. They are utilizing mass control, mass destabilization. And these things are all equatable. They're all basically traceable. So we basically have all this stuff. And where does it trace? It traces all over the world. All over the world. Again, we're talking about how this works out all over the world and where this stuff goes. Once again, all over the world. All over the world, every different place, all these different revolutions, and continues forward. And it funds terrorism and all this other stuff. It's crucially important to understand this. So we have this mass mathematical equatability and understanding what people are doing. And the mass tactical table of economics is now coming to the head point. And I'm one of the people that has been right along in the research for what? Mass economic modeling software. That's been part of my campaigns for decades. So these people keep attacking my archives. Why? Because I keep revealing evidence that these people are committing treason. So I've had people tell me, Mike, there's no surprise why these people are going by taking pot shots at you. They're trying to kill you. They're involved in killing all kinds of people. Look at the carnage we have. Crimes against humanity. Right now, look at the homelessness all over the state. This is mass murder by engineering. It was engineered on purpose. And we know this. We have to stand up and put a stop to this. Now, at this point in time, the state owes me billions and billions of dollars because of what these regimes have done. It's not the first rodeo. There have been other attacks. There's been an evolution of how they have used blacklisting intentionally on citizens and other candidates. Now, finally, the evidence is so overwhelming, it's time to start prosecuting these people. And we have judges that don't want to cooperate. They start bringing up technicalities, loopholes. Guess what? In treason trials, those aren't allowed. They don't apply. We proceed forward. This is where we are, people. You need to stand up. Because if you don't stand up, then all of us who have been working so hard getting shot at, building assets, researching, getting the evidence, we're just going to die. We're going to die, and we're going to wonder, why did all of you walk away when we finally had the evidence to put a stop to these people? Why? People, this is an election. You have responsibilities to the Constitution of the United States. And you need to stand up with people like me because I have the largest batch of the most severe evidence against this regime. Plain and simple.